Volatility was a gift to the faithful. It scares away the tourist. It scares away the lazy. It scares away the people that are already conventionally rich, that have all the money. If you're a 20-something or a 30-something and you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to spend 100 hours or 200 hours, if you have more time than money, then the volatility of Bitcoin is a gift to you. If you have more money than time, and you're arrogant and egotistical and you just pick the obvious, then if the volatility goes away, you buy Bitcoin. If people in the rest of the world knew what I know and they understood and they agreed with me, Bitcoin would go to $10 million tomorrow. And if Bitcoin went to $10 million tomorrow, I want you to think about how you would feel and how your viewers would feel, because you would lose 20 years of stacking opportunity during which you get to buy at less than $10 million. So the difference between $10 million and 100,000, that's what you give up if the volatility goes away and people start to agree with you.
Well, I think it's still very likely that Bitcoin's going to be above 100,000 before year end, and maybe even above one to a new high. So
you mentioned obviously the confusion over the path for the Fed as contributing to this recent pullback, as well as some policy flux in there. What role did the violent shakeout in crypto have on all that? Because a week ago, that's all we were talking about, was Bitcoin can't stop going down, the NASDAQ wants to follow it, or people are concerned about how that's going to knock other things loose in other financial assets. So it's stabilized, but it's not exactly sort of participating to the upside in this bounce.
Yes. So crypto had been a leading indicator for actually most of the last 5 years. But on October 10th, crypto had what I would call Armageddon, a flash event. But it led to a liquidation that was never seen in the 15 years history of Bitcoin. About a third of the market makers went out of business that day. Almost 2 million accounts went to zero.
Yeah.
And it was because of a pricing error, what I would call a glitch. And it led to what we call auto-deleveraging.
You've definitely made that case that it definitely seems as if there was something in the kind of market maker functioning that got fouled. Yeah. Now, that being said, the reason you can have all those accounts auto-liquidated is because there were that many accounts with that much leverage that got Bitcoin up to where it was, above 120.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so it's not as if it happened in a vacuum.
Yeah. So in a way, it means crypto represents really a very precise measurement of risk appetite, because there's so much more leverage. And that got wiped out.
Right.
That last time it happened in 2022, it took 8 weeks before people sort of touch their toes back in. I think that's where we are. We're near a bottom. But now I don't think crypto leads. Crypto is lagging because it's really the AI that's going to be leading. Okay, so so basically that is kind of sidelined the idea of what, Bitcoin 150,000 you were thinking before? Well, I think it's still very likely that Bitcoin's going to be above 100,000 before year end, and maybe even above one to a new high. So Bitcoin makes its moves in 10 days, and every year, I think some of those best days are still going to happen before year end.
There's only two assets that have emerged, maybe three if we count silver, in the last multiple thousands of years that became globally adopted as a monetary alternative. Gold, you could say silver at some point, less so today, and Bitcoin. So that's an incredible achievement for Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin is newer than gold. It's more volatile than gold. It's risky as a kind of novel technology instrument, but it also has a lot in its favor as something that is digitally native in an increasingly digital world, that is efficient to store and can be moved anywhere in the world in near real time and near zero cost. So Bitcoin has registered in the arena as a real competitor, real option in that space of things, of a small space of things that you can use to kind of play this debasement trade. And we've seen that resonate.